But you gotta realize, boys will be boys, Brittany. Boys will be boys. It's a rough day at the Tolosas. All right. Most anticipated video of 2020, according to the people that watch my vlogs. We're doing it today. I just decided to bring you guys out here to do this vlog, and if you made it this far in the video and you just want to know what I use, it's the GoPro 9, my cell phone, iPhone 11, and the Mavic Air, the original Mavic Air, and a Rode microphone. That's what I use for my vlogs. Now, if you want to know why I use that equipment, stick around and I'll tell you. Look how beautiful it is. Ooh. So if you can't tell, I'm from Northern California, like real Northern California, like mountains and trees, Northern California. And on these vlogs, we'll go further up north too. We'll go look at the redwoods and we'll do all that cool stuff. My primary camera is the GoPro 9. That's what I use for almost every vlog. Why do I do that? Because I want people to be immersed in the story. I don't care to give people a cinematic feel. I don't want them to get lost in the video. I want them to get lost in the story, in the content, in what the story's about. That's also a big reason that I don't use music. I don't use music much at all. And that's because I want people to feel like they're there with me. I want you to feel like you're here with me. You're out beautiful Northern California, beautiful Lake Sonoma, and you're just kind of hanging out with me. That's the whole goal with everything. You know, you're going through the trees with me, you're hanging out, you're right here with me right now, and that's the story that I want you guys to get lost in. I don't care to show off that I have the best color grading or anything like that. Now, when I shoot for clients, it's completely different. We do like straight commercial work that is gonna grab people's attention quick. It's gonna encourage the person to buy a product. It's gonna give them a certain feeling. It's gonna evoke emotion. That's what we do with the commercial clients, and for that I use a BlackMagic Cinema Camera, 4K, and that's primarily what I use for all client work. So all client work is going to look a lot different than these vlogs. These vlogs, I get to be creative, I get to have fun, I get to hang out with you guys. And I mean, I've been really hanging out with you guys lately because it is COVID, so I can't really see people in person. Now look at this. Imagine falling off that. Woo. So there's a lot of power in just having the story be so organic and no music. You just hear the sounds. I do use a lot of sound design. You'll see that I use almost L and J cuts almost on everything. But that goes back to editing. And editing, I could do a whole video on editing. Right now we're just doing the equipment. Another thing that the GoPro 9 allows me to do is it allows me to keep the camera in certain places that other cameras wouldn't be able to. Just it's really small, so you could do things. But the GoPro 9 has downsides. It sucks in low light. Low light, I'm gonna be screwed. But that's where I take out my cell phone. So I have the iPhone 11. I don't feel the need to upgrade right now, and that's what I shoot a lot of video. A lot of the nighttime stuff that you see, I shoot it on the iPhone 11. Why? Just because it performs a little bit better at night. It still sucks at night, but again, I'm not trying to get the best quality out there. I'm trying to get the best stories out there, the most interesting stories. And I know that a lot of the people that are going to be watching this video are going to be more video heads, video nerds, and people that want to start vlogging or have vlogged in the past, etc. And that's why I'm able to captivate the audience while just walking through a cool trail, hoping the mountain lions don't get me. So I'll try to speak up a little bit more so the mountain lions don't get me. So this is the GoPro 9, and that's the Rode microphone on it. So I have the big Rode mic that I use on it. Sometimes it does dip into the screen, So you got to be careful of that. There is the micro. The micro won't dip into the screen, but I don't know if it'll pick up sounds the way that this picks up sounds. I also have Rode Wireless and a bunch of other stuff, but again, I use that mostly primarily with commercial clients. I don't use it for the vlogs necessarily. This is my vlogging setup. So there's a phone, microphone, and the GoPro 9, and then I have the Mavic Air. The Mavic Air, I'm not going to fly it out here. I have my drone license. So another cool thing is you can fold this back up, and then you can get the tripod on there. So if you do get the tripod on there, you'll be able to have it stand up. But right now this is good enough for what we need. I don't need to get the little tripod thing out. So let's go ahead and look at what's in the bag. So this is just for the microphone, so I'll put the microphone in here if I need to go. And then I have my Mavic Air. It's just the first Air. I'm going to cover up the serial number on it. I'll just show you a couple digits of the serial number. So serial number is right there because it's a registered drone. I always carry my license, my drone license in here. So I have this guy, so I could shoot it up right now. Well, I mean, not in this area, but I could shoot it up whenever. It comes with the small little controller, and again, I just stick my phone in here, and then I'm able to fly this thing. So that is super helpful. And why'd I get the bag? The bag's kind of overkill, especially because usually when you get your drone shots, you're not like out in the wild and you decide, oh, I'm gonna take a drone shot. Maybe you are like that, but I personally am not like that. I always plan them ahead, just because I have to look at the perimeter and everything, just to make sure that everything's legal and I'm doing everything legally. So why carry it around in the bag? So the reason that I carry it around in the bag is because when I was doing the Monolith video in San Francisco, I was super paranoid. I was like dying of paranoia when I got to the top and I realized, hey, I'm in San Francisco, and San Francisco has had all these break-ins, and I have my drone and my computer inside of the car. And I'm up on this mountain looking at this knocked over monolith made out of gingerbread, and all my stuff could be getting jacked right now. So that is the main reason that I decided to purchase the backpack. And the reason that I got the GoPro one and not one off of a generic one off of Amazon, even though Amazon has some really nice ones, usually I would go for something like that, something a little bit cheaper. However, when you're buying off-market products, one of the things, and I just know this from marketing, one of the things that is lesser of value, usually, not always, usually, is their quality control. So they have lower quality control than brand name things. So let's say you buy the AirPods, are a perfect example. You can buy a knockoff AirPods, but you're running a really high probability that you're gonna get one that's defective. Sometimes it's not worth dealing with that headache. So I got the actual GoPro backpack, and I mean, like I said, I could have gotten a generic one, but this one does everything that I need, and I have a little bit more confidence knowing that there's a high probability that there was better quality control on a backpack like this versus one that's off-brand. Usually a lot of people expect like some crazy type gear, like the kind of gear and lighting that I use for my clients, but no, it's not, because it's about having fun. When you start doing stuff like this, it frees you up. Like, hey, I'm just out there with a GoPro and a microphone. That's epic. Naturally, the next thing that people ask me are, what do you edit on? So I use DaVinci Resolve. I love DaVinci Resolve. I've used Premiere Pro for years. I've used pretty much everything, almost everything. I've been editing for 20 years, since I was a little kid. I taught myself to edit on the first version of Windows Movie Maker. I taught myself how to import video off of tapes, and I started chopping up my own videos when I was a little kid. no formal education. There wasn't even any like books or anything like that I was reading on it or anything like that. Just trial and error. No YouTube videos, no YouTube tutorials, none of that. You know, YouTube wasn't even around back then. So that's how I learned. And you know, every few years I switch it up, because some companies go one way, other companies go another way. Like some of my first clients I edited on Sony Vegas. After Sony Vegas, I did Final Cut 7. Before Sony Vegas, that's when I was doing Windows Movie Maker. So I did Final Cut 7. I think that's what it's called. It's been so long. I did that one all the way up until I got to SRJC. At SRJC, I started using Premiere Pro. So I did everything with Premiere, and I was already doing Photoshop and everything like that, so it was natural to go there. I learned After Effects. I learned that at SRJC. And then after graduating, I used Premiere for a really long time, and I used it on multiple different computers, and it just got really buggy for me. So I stopped using it. When I started using DaVinci, I got it for free because I bought the BlackMagic Cinema Camera 4K, and since I purchased it, I got 2 licenses, and it was just like a whatever. Like I'm in this Adobe subscription, but then I started seeing the color grading, and I'll show you guys like some before color grading, after color grading. So this is color grading on Premiere, just because Premiere doesn't really have a denoiser or anything like that. I got the same footage after I used Resolve, did a color grade on it, and look how awesome it looks. Like, it just looks so much nicer. And Resolve gave me the capabilities to be able to do that. With Resolve, I taught myself how to color grade, but then I took it to the next level with some YouTube tutorials, and then I took it to the next level by actually reading the DaVinci Resolve color manual. So that's free on their website. Like, it's like 300 or 400 pages, but you read that and you're gonna be legit. You're gonna be color grading like no other. All of these different apps, they all have their strengths and weaknesses. So if you're starting off, I definitely recommend you to start off with Premiere, just because I feel like Premiere is going to give you a well-rounded knowledge. So if you start with Premiere, get some knowledge in Premiere, you'll be able to jump into all these editors like nothing. It'll be easy for you, because DaVinci uses the node system to do the amazing color grading. So since DaVinci uses that, it's not really applicable to other things because a lot of other programs are layer based. So it's just the whole thing. Just if you're interested, you want to do it professionally, learn Premiere, jump into Resolve, and then go from there. Now it's the Mac or PC debate. I always switch, just like video editors. I switch back and forth depending what company's doing great. So in 2010, I was editing on Mac. Like I was just all Mac. Before that, I was PC. I was Mac for probably 5-6 years. Steve Jobs passed away, and I feel like Apple didn't do that great of a job, so I switched back to PC. I built up a super rig for video editing, got everything on sale, got everything super cheap on sale. I have this really nice rig to edit video that's PC, but now the M1 chip came out, and DaVinci Resolve made a version of DaVinci Resolve that works strictly with the M1 chip. So since they did that, I went out and I got a MacBook Air. I think that's what they're called, MacBook Air, the little ones. So I got a 13-inch MacBook Air, and I've been loving it so far. It's been about 3 weeks, and I'm able to edit everything that I need to edit on it, if I need to edit on it. Obviously, you don't get the big screen like I have on the desktop, but I'll probably eventually switch over to Apple again. And the reason for that is because my cell phone, AirDrop just saves you so much time. I was with a client yesterday, and they needed pictures to run an ad. They didn't have any content. So I said, you know what? I'll just take, whoa, I almost slipped. So I told him, you know what, let me just take a couple pictures with my phone, airdropped them onto my computer, edited them. After that, we just put the Facebook ads together and we were good to go. So that was it was really cool. Another thing too with Apple is you can't get around the stigma of people. I was with a client, he's a multimillionaire, and he wanted me to airdrop him a video that I took. I had an Android at the time. There was no service in the area, and I couldn't airdrop it to him. And he was looking at me like, do you really know what you know what you're doing? When he had like an older iPhone and I had a like brand new Android, and just that was a really big trigger point. And after that, I said, you know what, I need to switch over, just because of the perception that people have. The perception that people have when you have a Android versus Apple. I like them both, but the perception a lot of people get, just because of the reputation, the branding. People treat you like, let's just be blunt about it. A lot of people treat you like you're broke. And I mean, I don't care about what people think until it starts affecting how much they could trust me in doing my job. That was one of the turning points. That, and then my wife uses iPhone for everything. So a combination of those two things is what really got me to switch back over to Apple. I could do a whole video on Apple versus Android and versus PC, but right now the Mac ecosystem has been really good to me. It's been great to me, and I need both for my job. As a marketer, I work with people across multiple platforms. As a content creator, I work with people across multiple platforms, so I can't just ignore one platform. So I have both. My preference was Windows for the past few years, and now it's kind of tilting towards Mac and Apple again, especially after that M1 chip. That M1 chip is a game changer. You can just YouTube that and people will tell you all about that. So yeah, remember, like, subscribe, ring the bell, tell your friends, leave a comment.